This video contains spoilers for various Star Wars comics, books, TV shows, and movies. This is what Mandalore looked like thousands of years ago. Why is it now a barren, white desert? Why did they have to move into globe cities? And now they believe the planet is cursed and that the only Mandalorians still alive live in small groups underground on planets far away from Mandalore. Almost 10,000 years before the destruction of the first Death Star was a clan-based warrior culture called the Mandalorians. Led by a ruler called the Mandalore, they launched several wars of expansion during the Old Republic era, colonizing thousands of worlds including Crow's Nest and Concord Dawn. Many of these worlds were considered neutral and not part of the Galactic Republic, but they were in key strategic positions between Coruscant and the Outer Rim, which made them major areas of conflict with both the Galactic Republic and the Jedi Order. For thousands of years, hostility and violence grew between the Mandalorians and the Jedi. Around 1050 BBY, a Force-sensitive Mandalorian named Tar Vizsla was accepted into the Jedi Order. He became a Jedi Knight, creating the one-of-the-kind Darksaber, and later found House Vizsla. He eventually became ruler of Mandalore, with the Darksaber being the symbol of leadership of House Vizsla. When he died, the Jedi kept the Darksaber in their temple on Coruscant, but when the Old Republic fell, the Mandalorians sacked the temple, liberating the Darksaber and uniting the clans, once again waging war on the Jedi Order. These wars once again lasted for hundreds of years, and it took its toll on the entire Mandalore system, especially Mandalore itself. The final battle, in what Dave Filoni refers to as the Cataclysm, was the battle that laid waste to the entire planet, a military bombardment scorching the planet's surface into what we see during the Clone Wars as a white, uninhabitable desert. The Mandalorians could no longer live in the environment they once did after the wars, so they had to create a new civilization inside hermetically sealed domes. After the devastating loss, they resigned to live isolated in their system during the High Republic era, around 300 BBY. They agreed to treaties preventing them from waging wars with the Jedi Order. There was constant battles and civil wars over the next few hundred years as their traditional warrior culture clashed with the new Mandalorians, a pacifist movement that lived in the dome city of Sundari. This movement grew rapidly, preferring peace for the people of Mandalore rather than war. In 42 BBY, the clashes between the new Mandalorians and the traditionalist warriors got so bad that it even became what's known as the Mandalorian Civil War. Keldabe, the capital city of Mandalore, was destroyed, along with the Duke of the New Mandalorians, Aldonai Kreese, was killed. His daughter Satine was placed under the protection of the Jedi Order. Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn and his Padawan Obi-Wan Kenobi were sent for an entire year to protect Satine from assassins and bounty hunters hired by the traditionalists to kill her. During that year, Satine and Padawan Obi-Wan Kenobi fell in love, but that is a story for another time. She eventually returned and led the new Mandalorians to defeat the traditionalists and ban them to Concordia, one of Mandalore's habitable moons. She would rule over Mandalore for the next 20 years, rebuilding the planet and moving the capital to Sundari. Pre Vizsla, descendant of Tar Vizsla, the creator of the Darksaber, was the governor of Concordia, where he secretly started the splinter group Death Watch along with Satine's sister, Bo-Katan. The group's main goal was to restore Mandalore to its warrior culture by usurping Duchess Satine. They first joined Count Dooku and the Separatists before the Sith Lord betrayed them. Then, in about 19 BBY, they joined Darth Maul and his criminal organization called the Shadow Collective. Maul and Death Watch were able to usurp Duchess Satine and take over the planet. Duchess Satine is then killed by Maul as part of the takeover, but also as a way to torture Obi-Wan Kenobi because he was there when this happened. And now that Satine was dead, there was a battle between Darth Maul and Pre Vizsla, and in a battle of who would lead Mandalore now that Satine was dead, Maul kills Pre Vizsla and takes the Darksaber. Bo-Katan believes Darth Maul should never rule Mandalore, and with the help of Obi-Wan, she escapes to form the Mandalorian Resistance, also known as the Death Watch Loyalists, to oppose Maul and his ruling over Mandalore. Her elite group of Mandalorian warriors, called the Night Owls, they also split, with some joining her and some staying loyal to Maul, feeling that they were bound by honor, seeing as now he wielded the Darksaber. During the last days of the Clone Wars, Bo-Katan and the Mandalorian Resistance Alliance join the Galactic Republic led by Ahsoka, Rex, and the 332nd Company to fight in the Siege of Mandalore. Ahsoka is able to defeat and capture Maul, while the clones and Bo-Katan defeat the rest of Maul's super commandos and retake Mandalore. Bo-Katan was then made regent of Mandalore by the Jedi Order. Unfortunately, this was short-lived. She refused to bow to the new Emperor's regime and rejected Imperial occupation, so she was betrayed by Gar Saxon, former puppet of Maul and head of House Saxon. Gar was given the title of Governor of Mandalore and Imperial Viceroy by Emperor Palpatine, where his group of Mandalorian warriors were given the title of Imperial Super Commandos. Other clans, like Clan Wren and a group called the Protectors who lived on one of the moons of Concord Dawn, all sided with the Emperor and saw Death Watch, Bo-Katan, and House Vizsla as traitors. Around 2 BBY, Sabine Wren was able to get the Darksaber from an abandoned Night Sister cave on Dathomir that Maul had essentially kept as a souvenir. You can even see written on the wall of the cave the Mandalorian language Mandoa. In this language, Maul has written on the wall Kenobi. Now there's a Mandoa dictionary where you can type in Kenobi and see that it matches the writing on the wall. Sabine takes the Darksaber to her planet of Kronos, where Gar Saxon declares House Wren as traitors to the Empire. He is then defeated by Sabine in single combat with the Darksaber. Eventually, Clan Wren joins Bo-Katan, the Night Owls, and Clan Kreese to defeat Clan Saxon. They were also able to unite other clans together under Bo-Katan, where she reluctantly accepts the Darksaber given to her by Sabine and takes the title of Mandalore, the ruler of the people. Unfortunately, once again, Bo-Katan's rule was short-lived. The Empire massacred the entire planet in the Purge of Mandalore. The entire population was slaughtered during the Night of 1,000 Tears, where TIE bombers laid siege to the planet, killing anything and everything on the surface. Then followed by KX security droids as well as Viper probe droids searching the wreckage to terminate any survivors. The few Mandalorians that did survive were scattered across the galaxy. Bo-Katan also lost the Darksaber to Moff Gideon during the Purge. One of the groups that survived hid on Concordia away from the Purge. They were a religious group called the Children of the Watch. They followed the way of the Mandalore. The way states that if a Mandalorian removed their helmet in front of another living being, that they were no longer permitted to wear it, and also not considered Mandalorians anymore unless they redeemed themselves in the living waters beneath the mines of Mandalore. They also believed that the fate of their people and their planet happened because Bo-Katan accepted the Darksaber without winning it in battle, and that her illegitimate claims to Mandalore brought the destruction of their people and their planet. Their sect was the only one that survived, and their belief was that it was because they followed the way of the Mandalore. Of course, Din Djarin was a member of the Children of the Watch, as well as Paz Vizsla, a descendant of Tar Vizsla, and the Armorer, who were located on the planet Navarro before having to relocate to the ring world of Glavis. You can hear the Armorer speaking to Din in Mandoa as she's trying to teach him how to fight with the Darksaber. This is where he tells her that he had removed his helmet in front of other people. She tells him that he's no longer a Mandalorian, that he must go to Mandalore and redeem himself in the living waters under the mines. Din, of course, thought that the way of the Mandalore was practiced by all Mandalorians.
This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.
It wasn't until he met Bo-Katan and her Night Owls that he saw that this isn't the case. They also believed that Mandalore itself was a cursed planet and that anyone who traveled there would be killed. So if Din wants to continue his religious practice of the way of the Mandalore, we'll be seeing him and Grogu heading to Mandalore in Season 3 of The Mandalorian. The Siege of Mandalore is shown in the Clone Wars series. Check out this video here to see why it's the best Star Wars content there is, and may the Force be with you.